Hi, I'm Prisma from California. Please like and subscribe. My sister Juliet and I were born to freakishly rich parents who adored and spoiled us at our lakeside mansion. Even though Juliet and I were twins, people always seemed to compliment me more for my pretty blonde curls and blue eyes.
Look at this beautiful child. She's God's gift to humans.
Of course, both of our daughters are adorable.
Oh, that one's yours too. I never would have guessed.
See what I mean? This didn't change even after we grew up. Over time, Juliet started noticing it too and became extremely competitive, especially when it came to dancing.
Look at Prisma's move. She's so adorable.
She'll make us proud one day.
What? She's dancing like a frog who's holding in a fart. How can you guys be so blind?
I admit Juliet was better than me, but I wasn't so bad. And everyone, including my parents, seemed to agree. But every time they praised me, Julia's butt would light on fire. Not that I cared. I loved the attention. Over the next few years, Juliet and I grew further apart, and by the time we were 16, we were pretty much strangers living under the same roof. She got into dancing, and I fell in love with writing. Things were fine, till one day, Dad lost all his money in stocks, and we had to sell our estate and move to a tiny apartment. Worst of all, I had to share a room with Juliet. Seriously, Mom, I need my privacy. You know that.
It's just for one night. We'll buy you a mattress in the morning, and Juliet can sleep in the lounge.
No way. I need my own room too. If she gets one, so do I.
Please don't be so melodramatic.
Before Juliet could argue more, Mom left. Juliet tossed and turned angrily, but finally fell asleep, and I did too. But a few hours later, I woke up to her screaming,
Ew, I can't believe you still do that.
I felt horrible as I realized the bed was all wet. I had a condition where stress could sometimes make me lose control over my bladder while sleeping. That was my secret. And now, Juliet knew. Shut up, Juliet. It's not a big deal.
Who would have thought Ms. Perfect needed diapers? It's a huge deal. And now you'll do what I say if you don't want anyone at our new school to find out.
You're an awful person.
You don't say. I worked so hard to be this awful, so thank you. For the first time in years, I get to dominate you.
I gave up the room, and Juliet promised to tell no one, but it was so hard to trust her. On our first day of our new school, Juliet and I could feel all eyes on us as we entered, and I heard a few kids whispering about our branded clothes and bags. That's all we had from our life before.
Look at them. They all look. This place is yuck.
Don't say that. It's the best Mom and Dad could do.
You don't have to kiss their butt now they're not around to hear you and pat your back. Anyway, I'm off. Good luck getting through a year in this dump.
Such a brat. Thank God we were in different homerooms. But it was kinda true. The school wasn't half as fancy as my private one back in Malibu. Kids were louder and meaner, and even the teachers didn't seem to care. That day, as I walked back home, I missed my old life and prayed something could magically put everything back in place. I guess God was in a happy mood, 'cause the next day, Juliet gave us the best news we'd heard all week.
I auditioned for the role of dancer in Superstar Karen's next movie. OMG, this Karen doesn't age. I should get her doctor's number. I know I'm, super pretty, but I can be prettier, so why not? Anyway, I got a call back for the second round. How amazing is that?
That's so cool. You totally deserve it.
Stop pretending. I know you're probably just burning inside. Get ready to beg for my autograph.
Geez, relax. Don't be so overconfident, okay?
No one is as good as me. There, this rolls in my pocket. Anyway, I have to practice, so I'll see you guys around.
I was genuinely happy for her, but I just wished something could turn up for me too, especially after I saw how Mom fussed over Juliet. It made me even more jealous than I'd like to admit. Juliet's audition was in a week, and Mom decided it would be a good idea to tag along and cheer her on, despite her protests. The set was huge, and I felt like I'd entered a TV or something. Just then, Karen walked in, looking like a vision, and everyone fell silent. She looked even better than her movies. This woman was a goddess.
Okay, let's get this movie started. Wait a minute, who are you?
I was so lost in admiring her that I didn't realize I was standing in the middle of the scene. Oh, I'm so sorry. I was just...
No, go back. Could you dance for me?
Oh, I'm not really here for that.
Just give it a try, please.
She signaled for the music to start, and I did what she said. To my surprise, I enjoyed the attention on me, and the camera didn't make me feel nervous. After I was done, Karen took me to her office.
Okay, so I'm gonna offer you a deal. $1 million, and you sign the movie now.
But I've been so out of touch with dance, and my sister's way better. You should give her a chance.
I don't know who your sister is, but no one here is as pretty as you. And I could always train you. Think about it. It's either you or some other girl, but not your sister.
Karen handed me her card and left. And when I turned around, I saw Juliet fuming at me. And when we reached home, she went bonkers on me.
How dare you? This was my chance to shine, and you snatched it away. I hate you.
Listen, I know how this looks, but I didn't think this would happen. And she told me she wasn't offering the role to you anyway. So it's a good thing I got it. We could use the money.
You'll make up anything to justify how selfish you are. If I don't get this role, you can't have it either. And if you take it, I'll make sure you regret it.
Don't threaten me like that. If you were good enough, she wouldn't have chosen me. Okay? Think about that. I knew how Juliet felt, but it was a 1 in a million opportunity. The money would benefit all of us, and it wasn't like she was getting the role. So why couldn't I have it? The next morning, I went to Karen and signed the deal. When Juliet found out, she lost her mind and screamed for hours. But I knew I'd done the right thing for my family, so I ignored her. A week later, we started shooting, and working with Karen was a dream. She was the sweetest. But for some reason, no one else on set agreed with me. One evening, after a late shoot, we talked, and I told her my whole story.
Oh, darling, I know how you feel. I come from a poor family too, and I made my way up.
Really? That's so inspiring. I felt so special because she confided in me. But the next day when I met her, she totally blew me off. And soon, she started showing her true colors. She treated me like her servant, and I was stuck getting her coffee and salads, and she kept criticizing me in front of the whole crew during shootings. I decided to talk to her. But soon we started with promotion interviews, and there was never a good time. During one interview, the host asked me a bunch of questions, but Karen kept butting in.
So what do you love most in the world?
Well, I love...
Dancing and me, of course. She's my biggest fan.
Yes, but I was saying that my parents...
Are so proud of her. I took this poor girl under my wing, and now I'll make her a big star. Isn't she lucky?
Karen didn't let me say anything. And the next day, everybody was talking about her big heart. No one was talking about my talent. Great. Now people think I'm some charity case.
Don't overthink it. Of course you're talented, but everyone likes a good sob story. Just go with the flow.
I tried, but it kept getting worse. Everyone wanted to know more about how I became famous, and even started bothering my parents to get their answers.
Are you really poor, or is this just a publicity stunt?
How does it feel to live off your daughter's money?
Well, it's my money to begin with, so I feel betrayed.
What the heck are you doing?
Telling the truth, helping the media. I'm being a responsible citizen.
I dragged Juliet away before she said something to make the situation worse. And a few weeks later, we moved to another place. Lately, the stress had been so much that I was wetting the bed more frequently. I really hadn't expected things to be so hard. A few days later, I was going through the script when I heard noises coming from Karen's office and peeped in to see the writer of the movie crying.
You can't do this. You promised me a better amount for my story. That's why I gave the script to you.
Oh, cry me a river for changing my mind. This is my last offer. Or, I can break your career faster than I break hearts.
But it's not enough. You know how much this story means to me. And I'm knee-deep in debt.
Not my problem. You want the money or not?
The girl left crying, and I entered the room to have a word with Karen.
Stay out of it.
But it's not fair. You can't just take away her hard work and not even pay her well for it. It's just wrong.
Really? Have you forgotten what you did to your own sister? She was the better dancer, and you didn't even flinch before taking her place.
That was different. It was me or her.
And you chose you. You and I are more alike than you think. And time you go snooping around in my business, know this. I will fire you.
You can't do that. I'm the face of your movie, and people would crush you for firing the poor girl.
Darling, everyone is replaceable. Ask your sister.
Karen's words hit me like a hot slap. And for the first time, I thought how unfair I'd been to Juliet. I had to make it right, and I started with dropping an anonymous tip to the media about how Karen exploited her staff. The news blew up like a volcano, and Karen faced bad backlash. She knew I'd leaked the news, and I was fired on the spot. But I couldn't care less. All I wanted was to make things right. But Juliet was still ignoring me, and I couldn't blame her. How one morning I walked into her room to talk, but she wasn't around. And seconds later, I heard Mom scream. What? What happened? Mom pointed to the TV, and Karen was standing with Juliet and calling her my replacement. What? I was still reeling with shock when Juliet walked in. Juliet, I know I'm probably the last person you trust, but working with Karen will destroy you. She's just using you to teach me a lesson.
Fine by me. You do need a few lessons. Like, you're not the only dancer in the world, and I'm far more talented. Heck, if people knew your little secret, you wouldn't have even made it this far. Now stop being annoying or I might tell it to the press.
The industry runs on gossip. Sure, people will talk about me for a few days, and then what? They'll forget about it. But working with Karen will make you miserable. Don't do this.
I'll do anything I want. Now get out of my way. I have a plane to catch.
Despite my parents' pleas, Juliet left, and we didn't hear from her for weeks. Slowly, I got back to my studies and managed to pass my high school. But we were running out of money, and I needed something to keep afloat. So I decided to apply for small roles in movies. A few days later, one of the old writers on Karen's set called me and said she'd recommended me for a role in the movie based on her script. It did well, and I started getting more offers. Slowly, the money started rolling in, and we moved to a better place. I even saved up enough to put me through a writing school, and things were fine, except Juliet was still in the back of my mind. And then one day, while I was leaving for work, Mom came running in.
It's Juliet. She's in jail.
What? Mom told me that Juliet was involved in some embezzlement scandal with Karen, and they'd been arrested. We went to the police station with a lawyer to bail Juliet out. My parents seemed to forgive her instantly, but I was still mad at her.
Prisma, there's a lot I need to say, but I don't know where to start.
How about sorry or thank you?
I am really sorry. I was blinded by all the glamour and a chance to be better than you for once. Karen treated me just like you said, and she'll get powerful lawyers and get herself out of this mess. But I'm stuck in it now. You don't have to believe me, but I'm innocent.
I tried telling you she's a witch, and I think I do believe you.
Do you think you can forgive me? I will never even mention the word diaper in front of you.
Shut up! I'm better now, and it might take some time to fix things between us, but let's get this mess sorted first. And I'm happy to have you home.
Hi, I'm Freya from Ohio. Please like and subscribe. I belong to a home that was filled with happiness and love. And my dad worked very hard to give us the best life. Once when I was 4, Dad spent an entire weekend building me a treehouse in our backyard.
This is your special place. You can always come up here and look at the beautiful sky.
Thank you, Daddy!
And when your sister grows a little taller, promise me that you'll share this treehouse with her and always be happy together.
I promise. My sister Iris was 2 years younger and I loved her to bits. I would dance for her and she would laugh like crazy and clap her little hands. When I turned 6, Mom bought us walkie-talkies, and we had so much fun hiding from our parents. The coast is all clear here. Over.
I see Mom's red hair. Over.
Okay, I'm climbing down. Over. As I climbed down from the treehouse, I saw my aunt and my cousin enter our yard. I ran to greet them, and so did Iris.
Freya and Iris, you've grown so big.
Our cousin Shirley was the same age as me, and stood very quietly, without even a smile on her face. Just then, I noticed that they had 2 big suitcases with them. Are you going on holiday, Aunt?
Yes, we're here for the holiday.
Just then, Dad came out and helped Aunt with our bags. Aunt and Dad were twins, and he cared about her deeply. I was happy to have them around until Mom took me aside and spoke to me.
Freya, you will move into Iris's room and share her bed.
But Iris's bed is so small, Mom.
I know, honey. It's just until your aunt finds a job and moves out.
How long will that be?
Just a few months.
But months turned into years, and I was 10 and still squeezing into Iris's bed. My aunt didn't find a job, and Dad had to let her stay since they only had each other. And slowly, Aunt and Shirley started to become a nuisance.
Yeah.
Once in 7th grade, Mom had planned a party for me and Iris for being top achievers at school. When Aunt suddenly said she felt really sick.
Maybe you should have the party on another day. I'm so unwell. Shirley must have caught it too. Look, she feels so warm. It's possible what we have is contagious.
But I've already bought all the food and invited the guests. I can't cancel everything just a day before the party.
Maybe you two could just stay in your room, Aunt.
Oh, so you want me and my daughter to stay in the rooms like we are outcasts? Did you hear what she said, brother? We aren't good enough for their party. They always make us feel like we're living on their charity.
What? She didn't mean it like that.
Aunt started coughing loudly and Dad took her to her room. When he returned, he asked us if we could cancel the party. But Dad, Iris, and I already invited all our friends.
My mom is sick and I think you should listen to your dad.
It does seem insensitive to have a party when she's unwell. We can have it another time, please.
It was so hard to say no to Dad, so we canceled it. And just then I caught sight of Shirley grinning as she walked away to her room. She and Aunt were such drama queens. And the worst part was that Shirley was in the same class as me. In 8th grade, I got selected to be the class president. And just as I was about to give my first presentation on all the changes I wanted to make, I stared at the projector in horror. Instead of my slideshow, it was a video of me singing and doing a stupid dance in front of my mirror at home.
That's your president trying to be Beyonce. Gosh, how stupid does she look?
Shirley, you're a wicked witch, just like your mother! She got up and pushed me against the chalkboard, and I took the duster and buffed her face white. Seconds later, everyone around us was laughing as we broke out into a full-scale catfight. But the teacher was not impressed by my behavior.
Freya, I'm taking away your position as class president until you learn to lead by example. Hitting someone's face with a duster is not leadership material.
But she pushed me!
And you called her mother a witch?
Later that afternoon, while I was doing my homework, Aunt came and sat next to me with her tea, and she poured it all over my books. Hey, what are you doing?
This will teach you to watch what you say about me. I'm a witch, huh?
I'm telling Dad about this.
Go ahead. I'll just say it was an accident. He will never believe you over me, his beloved sister.
And she was right. Dad didn't believe me.
Freya, I'm sick of you disrespecting your aunt. When your mother gets back from the store, we're having a family meeting.
But Mom had been gone for hours, and she wasn't even answering any calls. We were beginning to feel worried, but just then, a car drove up to the house, and Mom thanked a strange man as he dropped her off and drove away.
What happened?
My car's engine suddenly heated up and my phone was dead. Luckily, my boss was driving by, so he offered me a ride.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll get your car towed and fixed.
I just couldn't help noticing the way that man looked at you.
What way? What are you trying to say?
Nothing, just saying.
My aunt was on a mission to stir up trouble between my parents. And later that evening, while Mom was in the bathroom, I found Aunt digging in Mom's bag.
What are you doing?
Why don't you go up to your room and read a book, dear?
Not until you tell me what you're up to.
I'm looking for a painkiller for the headache you're giving me. Ah, there it is.
She took it and left, and I told Mom right away, but she checked her bag and said everything was in place. But just a few days later, it was Dad's birthday, and Mom bought him some new shoes.
Oh, I was expecting a Rolex watch.
Ha ha ha, really? Well, honey, that's quite an expensive gift.
But you used our credit card to buy it 2 days ago? I got a message on my phone?
What? No, I didn't.
Mom and Dad got into an argument on his birthday, and then Aunt came along to make things worse.
Oh, I think I know who your wife bought the watch for. It was for that same man who dropped you off last time. You know, her boss.
And how would you know that?
I'm my brother's sister, and I see everything that goes on around here. I won't let anyone betray him.
I've had enough of this nonsense. Who do you believe, me or her?
Dad believed Aunt. And that day, Mom packed her bags and took me and Iris with her. Mom rented out a small apartment, but things were not easy with Mom's small salary, and Dad only paid for our school fees. And soon after, things got even worse when Iris started to feel sick. When Mom took her to the doctor, we got the scariest news ever. Iris had a problem with her heart, and she needed a donor. Oh, Mom, why is this happening? I don't want anything to happen to Iris.
And nothing will. We have to stay positive, honey.
Iris had to stay at the hospital for a while. And one day, Dad came to visit with Aunt and Shirley. But when the adults weren't in the room, Shirley turned to Iris and said,
Now because of you, your dad might lose our house.
What are you saying?
Don't listen to her, Iris.
He's paying for your treatment, stupid. He can't afford the mortgage payments on the house. Thanks to you, we'll be homeless soon.
It was never your house to begin with. Get out of Iris's room now. Later that day, I started to do some research on heart donors, and I was surprised to find applications on a funding program called the Heart Foundation. I quickly applied, telling my story, and sent it with fingers crossed. When I told Iris about it the next day, it made her really happy.
Even though our family is no longer the same happy family, I'm so glad that I have you as my sister and best friend.
I hugged her and then turned on the music on her phone and I started dancing for her like old times. And she laughed so much. Back at school, I struggled to keep my grades up because of everything that was going on. And one day, Shirley scored higher than me in math and couldn't stop rubbing it in my face.
Now that I'm the smarty pants of the family, I'm gonna tell my uncle to throw me a party. Don't worry, you're invited, as the waitress.
Suddenly, I felt so furious that I just screamed and charged her. But somehow I managed to stop myself at the last second. So I was shocked when Shirley suddenly fell to the floor like she'd fainted. Shirley?
Oh my god, what if you killed her?
What? I didn't even touch her.
No, I saw you.
Her friend ran off to call the principal. Shirley was rushed to the hospital where she was just fine soon after. But I was suspended for 2 weeks. I was really angry, but my suspension meant I got to spend a little more time with Iris at the hospital.
I miss our treehouse.
Me too!
Let's go there.
You know we can't do that. We'll get in so much trouble.
Please, Freya. I'm so tired of being in the hospital.
My sister made her puppy dog eyes at me, so I put her on the wheelchair and told the nurses that I was taking her out for some fresh air. We sneaked right out of the hospital and got onto a bus that took us to Dad's house. No one seemed to be at home, so we headed straight to our treehouse. Are you sure you can even climb up?
Yeah, of course I can.
Okay, go really slow and I'm right behind you. Iris climbed up the ladder, but as soon as she was inside the treehouse, she let out a loud scream. I started climbing up frantically, but just then, I saw Shirley looking down at me, and next to her was a boy from school. Shirley, what are you doing here?
Bunking school and making out with my boyfriend. You and your sister are trespassing.
Shut up, this is our treehouse.
Oh yeah? We'll see about that.
She kicked the ladder and I lost my balance. But luckily, I caught a tree branch just in time.
Oh my god, Freya.
I turned to see Dad looking up at me, and next to him was Mom. Dad quickly put the ladder back and helped me climb down. What are you guys doing here?
The hospital told us you were missing. We figured you might be here.
I'm sorry, Mom.
It's not her fault. I made her bring me here because this is my happy place.
Iris cried, and we had a family hug until it was interrupted by Aunt.
What's going on here?
Shirley kicked the ladder down while Freya was on it.
What nonsense. My Shirley would never do that.
I saw it with my own eyes.
Shirley came down from the treehouse with the boy, and Aunt didn't look so happy.
Shirley!
I'm sorry.
Shirley looked down sadly, but I didn't buy her act one bit.
I'm so disappointed in you, Shirley. You really could have hurt Freya.
And if you're really sorry, tell everyone the truth about what happened in school.
You pushed me. That's what happened.
Yes, she did. And brother, why are you holding that woman's hand? Have you forgotten that other man she's with?
Dad immediately let go of Mom's hand, and she looked so sad. As Mom drove Iris back to the hospital, I had a brilliant idea. Mom, can I borrow your credit card?
Honey, I'm already owing a lot on my credit card.
No, I'm not buying anything. I just want to investigate something. I then asked her to drop me at the mall and went to the only jewelry store that sold Rolex watches. Excuse me, can you check my mom's credit card? I think she bought a Rolex watch here some time back. The store assistant checked the card, and the time of the purchase showed up. I requested to see the CCTV footage of that date and time, and it was exactly what I had expected. My aunt was the one using my mom's credit card. I made a copy of the video on my flash drive and left. I was on my way to Dad's office when I got a phone call that made me yell out with excitement. Iris's application for the donor heart was approved. My sister was going to get a new heart, and she would be completely okay. When I reached Dad's office, I showed him the video from the jewelry shop.
Oh my god! I don't know what to say. She's my only sister. Why would she do this to me?
You really broke our hearts when you believed your sister over us, Dad. Aunt broke our happy family and you let her? The next day, while Mom and I were in the hospital with Iris, Dad suddenly walked in with flowers.
I am so sorry. And I know my apology is not going to be enough right now, but I love you all very much, and I will do anything to have you back home.
Mom didn't forgive him immediately, but once she heard that he'd kicked out Aunt and Shirley for good, she was willing to give Dad a second chance. And slowly, our family became whole again. I learned a big lesson here. Always look for the truth, even if it hurts. A good leader is a truth seeker.
My mom was a popular Italian actress. So right since I was a toddler, I was used to the paparazzi going berserk the moment I stepped out in public. And honestly, I loved being in the spotlight. Hello, guys! Ready for some new poses? I always knew I wanted to be an actress like Mom. So I begged her to take me to auditions. I'd get in front of the camera and everyone would go nuts.
Mamma mia, Isabella, you're a born actor.
Well, that was kind of true. Mom said I was a very expressive baby. And when I was in the 2nd grade, I pretended for a whole year that I was some celebrity whose life was being secretly recorded. Thanks to my natural acting skills, I was already a successful actress. By the time I was 15, my life was almost perfect. But things started going downhill quickly after that. Mom lost some film contracts to younger actresses, and she started getting plastic surgeries to look younger. A few of them went horribly wrong. Mom, what happened to your nose? You kind of look like the Joker.
Shush! I know what I'm doing, Isabella.
But Mom ended up looking so weird. No one wanted to cast her in their films anymore. This broke her heart. And she slowly transformed into this wild party animal who dated a new guy every month. And the worst part? She was blowing tons of money, buying expensive gifts for them. Mom, I just saw your boyfriend kissing one of our maids. He's a total jerk.
Oh, really? Then I guess I'll give that limited edition Rolex watch to my next boyfriend.
Mom kept going around with the biggest buttheads on the planet and spending money like water. Her falling reputation in film circles affected me too. And in a matter of a few months, we were both sitting at home with no work. Then Mom tried one business idea after another, but nothing worked out. And soon enough, we exhausted all our savings. Even the banks kicked us out, and all of our relatives turned us away. I was so angry at Mom for getting us into this mess, and the paparazzi were having a field day selling news about our downfall. But one night, Mom walked into my room and sat on my bed.
Isabella, I'm so sorry about everything. Oh, how I just wish that American business was in my name. That could have saved us right now.
What business?
I invested in a perfume business with my friend in the US a few years back, and it became really successful. But it's entirely in her name.
Why?
I didn't want to pay the taxes.
Oh my God, that was typical Mom.
Last year, I had a fight with her, and now that witch won't give me my share of the investment back.
What if I go to the US and talk to her? Mom loved the idea, and I took the next flight to the US. When I reached Mom's friend's house, she looked pleased to see me.
Wow, you're as pretty as your mom. Or as pretty as she used to be once.
Thank you? I think you know why I'm here.
Your mom and I are childhood friends, and you're very welcome in my house. Stay as long as you like.
But I'm talking about Mom's investment.
What's the hurry, Isabella? We'll talk about this unpleasant business later.
The next day, I kept trying to remind her of Mom's money, but she simply wouldn't talk about it. I knew this was not going to be easy, but I was determined to get our money back from that witch. One day, as I was leaving her study, I bumped into a boy around my age. I figured he was Mom's friend's son, and for some reason, he was dressed like Michael Jackson.
Hi, I'm Will, but I guess you already know that.
How would I know your name?
I know yours!
That's because I'm famous. Ugh, why is everyone here so stupid?
Hey, I'm not stupid. In fact, I might just be the solution to all your problems. Mom told me why you're here. I can help you get your money back in a month. Mom will do anything I say. Trust me. But on one condition.
And what's that?
You have to fake date me in front of my ex. She dumped me last month for another guy, and I'd love to show her that I'm with someone like you. You're a great actress. It shouldn't be a problem.
I stared at him and thought about it. Fake dating this weirdo wasn't something I was looking forward to, but I really needed that money. We have a deal. You'll get me my money in a month, and I'll make sure your ex eats her heart out and runs back to you. The next morning, I was nervous about going to a new school in a foreign country. But when I got there, kids practically jumped on me.
You're that Italian actress, Isabella, right?
I saw your toilet cleaner commercial. You looked like a goddess cleaning toilets with your perfect hands.
Just then, a guy took off his t-shirt and asked me to sign it. I obliged my fan happily, and soon, all the guys were doing that. I was loving this place. But just then, a teacher came and told everyone to put their shirts back on. What a buzzkill! I looked for Will to show me around school, but he simply disappeared. Sometime later, I found him in the cafeteria in a corner with a guy who seemed to be bullying him. There was a pretty blonde girl with them, too. The bully took out a paper from his pocket and started shouting,
"Attention, everyone. Here's a song that our lover boy will once wrote. Mia, Mia, you're as sweet as honey. I'll buy you gifts with my money. Your hair is silky smooth. I even like your wisdom tooth."
The girl who I guessed was Will's ex looked really uncomfortable.
Stop it. You're embarrassing him.
but obviously that jerk just kept laughing and going on. I walked over and snatched the paper from him. Heck, what is wrong with you? You're such a rude donkey!
And Will, I didn't know you wrote so well. Babe, I'm so glad I met you in Italy last summer.
That caught Mia's attention.
Wait, last summer? As in before Will and I dated?
Don't worry, we didn't start talking again until an hour after you broke up. Mia turned red and walked away with her moron boyfriend.
Whoa! Did you see how jealous she looked? You're awesome!
Tell me something I don't know. By the way, that song was awful.
I promise I've gotten better since.
For the first time, I saw Will smile and noticed his cute dimples. The next day, Will turned up at school wearing a t-shirt with my photo printed on it, and it had Sugar Boo written in bold letters. And at lunch, he was standing on a chair in the cafeteria waving me over.
Isabella, the love of your life is here!
It was so freaking embarrassing. But just as I was pulling him down, Mia walked in. So I grabbed Will's collar and kissed him.
Babe, I miss you so much. It's been 2 hours, 34 minutes, and 23 seconds since I last saw you.
Oh, my Sugar Boo. I'm sure it must have hurt when you fell from heaven. Is there an airport nearby? Or is my heart taking off?
God, he could win an Oscar for overacting. Later that day, I gave Will some tips on how to be a cool boyfriend.
No more sleazy pickup lines or cringy songs.
But I read online that girls want their boyfriends to write songs for them.
Yeah, if they are good at it, which you are not, my friend. You just get me chocolates and flowers. Luckily, Will turned out to be a fast learner. We kept fake dating for a few weeks, and to be honest, it was fun. I even took him to the mall one day and gave him a complete makeover. The next day at school, I could see jaws drop when we walked hand in hand. Will was loving being popular, but the idiot was still hung up on Mia.
Our fake dating is working. I caught Mia looking at us 17 times today.
Come on, do you still want to date Mia? I don't think she's anything special. And with your new looks, any girl would go out with you.
Any girl? Will you go out with me? I mean, for real?
That question took me by surprise.
See, the problem is your life's always been so perfect that you have no idea what rejection feels like.
I wasn't rejecting you. And just so you know, my life is far from perfect. I'm here in a foreign country, miles away from home, just because my mom blew all our money, and I can't even land a movie role. But the point is, you deserve better than Mia.
Maybe you're right. Okay, now you stop frowning, or you'll get wrinkles on your pretty face.
He gently pinched my cheek, and for some reason, I felt butterflies in my tummy. Weird. A few days later, Mia surprised both me and Will when she came over and invited us to a party at her place. Will was excited to go, so I said yes. Mia had invited the whole class and we were having a blast dancing when suddenly a slow song started playing. Will pulled me close and we swayed to the slow beats. My heart was racing a bit and he smiled down at me with those adorable dimples. And suddenly he kissed me, and not like one of our fake kisses. I felt like the world around me had stopped. When he pulled back, I was breathless and I thought he looked shaken too.
Mia saw us kissing. I'm sure she must be burning with jealousy. Wait, she's coming our way. Be cool, Will.
Oh, so the kiss was for Mia. That shouldn't have hurt, but strangely it did.
Will, I wanted to talk to you for a moment.
He immediately let go of me and followed Mia. I just stood there like an idiot. When Will didn't return for half an hour, I went looking for him and found him in the kitchen washing dishes. Will, what's the matter with you? You left me alone for this?
Actually Mia's maid didn't turn up, so she asked me to help her. And guess what? She said she'd even think about getting back with me.
What? Suddenly, dozens of kids barged into the kitchen, along with Mia's boyfriend, who started recording Will on his phone.
Haha, this is your place, you loser. Can you come to my party next week? I'll pay you $50 to do the dishes.
Everyone started laughing, and just then Mia walked in too.
Stop it, you all! I asked Will to help me. He's just being a good friend.
But Will didn't say anything. He simply took off his apron and left. I decided to leave the party too, but suddenly Mia grabbed my arm.
Remember this. Will might pretend to like you, but I still have him wrapped around my finger. He'll do anything for me, and I can have him back anytime I want.
So you're just going to keep stringing him along? You're a witch, Mia! And guess what? When I was looking for Will earlier, I saw your boyfriend making out with another girl in the bathroom. And I wasn't even lying. Those two jerks deserved each other. When I reached home, I marched straight up to Will's room angrily. How do you feel making a complete fool of yourself?
Well, Mia did side with me.
Oh, stop it! Do you seriously think she wants to get back with you? She's manipulating you. Are you blind?
What's your problem? Don't you want me to get back with Mia so that you can just get your money and leave?
You're pathetic, Will. Know your own worth and have some self-respect, dude.
I don't remember asking you for a lecture on how to live my life.
Fine. Do whatever you want. Date Mia, marry her, whatever. I don't care. I slammed the door hard and stormed off to my room. Idiot. The next day, I didn't even sit with Will at lunch. and I felt even madder when I saw Mia walk up to him.
Will, I broke up with my boyfriend. The jerk was cheating on me and I was a fool not to realize how amazing you were. Can we get back together? I know you still care.
Well, I'm not too sure about that anymore. I'm done being your backup plan, Mia. Good luck with your life, but I'm not interested anymore.
Mia looked stunned and Will just walked out.
That was amazing. When I reached home that day, I found Will waiting for me in my room with an envelope in his hands.
You kept your part of the deal. Now it's my turn.
I took the envelope, and when I opened it, my eyes almost popped out. It was a check for $20 million.
How did you manage to do this?
Let's just say I'm Mom's only weakness, so it wasn't that difficult.
Thank you. I guess now there is no reason for me to stay back any longer. Will looked at me and then spoke.
I guess there isn't. I'll drop you at the airport when you're ready.
Soon I flew back to Italy, and Mom and I started our own perfume business with that money. Thankfully, it took off, and I also started getting acting offers once things settled down. One day, while I was shooting, I noticed a familiar face in the crowd. A face I'd been dying to see again.
Will, what are you doing here?
Listen, Isabella, I know I suck at writing songs, but I have to say this.
Oh, please, not a song.
Just listen. No matter what I do, I'm always thinking of you. You're stuck in my head like glue, and I think I'm in love with you.
You're such a doofus, Will, and I love you too.
Hi, I'm Ella, and this is
Thanks, Mom.
a flyer for the middle school mathletes.
Well, what do you think? One for my beauty and one for my brainiac? It's perfect!
It's fine, I guess. From then on, my sister got more and more popular, and I became more invisible. By the time we were in high school, Arya's pageant trophies were on full display all over the house, while my mathlete trophies collected dust in my room. My parents clearly loved to show her off more. Well, at least my mathlete's teammate Eugene thought I was really cool.
The way you gave that answer right before the buzzer went off. Ugh, what an adrenaline rush. You're so smart!
You're too nice, Eugene.
And you're like a 45-degree angle, you know? 'Cause 45 degrees is an acute angle. You're a cutie.
Aha, yeah, good one.
So I was thinking, maybe you'd like to have my phone number?
I was only half listening because just then, the football team captain Justin walked into the cafeteria. Man, he was some descendant of Hercules. Just sheer perfection. I'd never have the guts to say hi to him, and he'd never notice me.
Ella?
Yes, sure. I'll take your phone number.
So you'll call me then?
If the need ever arises, then definitely yes. Thanks, buddy. I gotta go to class now. Then one day, things took a bit of a turn when Arya came down with the flu.
Ugh, my head hurts and I have a fever. I can't perform at the mall pageant today.
Oh no, my poor baby. Go lie down and Ella will bring you some tea.
She can make her own tea, and I'm busy.
She's unwell and you're not doing anything important. Now go!
I was so sick of being second to my sister. But when I got back with the tea, I found her snoring. And then I got a crazy idea. Next to her bed was her pageant bag, all packed and ready to go. I grabbed it and snuck out the front door. I was just as beautiful as Arya, and I was gonna prove it. When I got to the mall, everyone was smiling and waving at me. I felt like a movie star. Her dress fit perfectly, and the show went super smoothly.
And the winner is Arya!
Just as I was accepting the trophy, I heard the most annoying voice in the world.
She isn't Arya. I am. Mom couldn't find you at home. And when I saw my bag gone, I knew exactly where you were. How dare you?
So what? You're just mad that I could be as good as you any day?
Shut up, loser!
You mean winner? Arya leapt onto the stage and attacked me. The fight not only lost us the trophy, but it also got us banned from all pageants in the area for life. Our parents were furious with me. I was grounded for 2 weeks, and Arya basically pretended I didn't exist after that. She even blocked me on all social media. But at school, it seemed like everyone had heard about the pageant fight, and people were noticing me more. And I almost turned to jelly when Justin approached me.
Hey, not Arya, right?
Right. I'm what's my name? I forgot. Ella.
I'm Justin, the football captain. I love that gutsy stunt you pulled at the mall yesterday. We're having cheer tryouts tomorrow. Why don't you come too?
Cheer tryouts? Sure, I'll be there.
Perfect. But, change your look or something. I want to be able to tell you apart from Arya, okay?
Sure, Justin. I've wanted to change my look anyway. I was so excited for a fresh start that at home, I looked up some videos online on how to cut my hair. I decided bangs would be easiest, so I went to the bathroom, plugged in my dad's electric razor, and cut myself some bangs. And they turned out super cute. That was until they moved a bit and I saw that I'd shaved off my eyebrows too. I was horrified. There was no way I could go to tryouts looking like that. I couldn't even leave the bathroom looking like this. I started rummaging through the cabinets to find something that could help fix my eyebrows. I found a bottle of spray-on hair that my dad sometimes used to cover his bald spot. I aimed it at my forehead and sprayed, but it made me look like a caveman with a bushy unibrow. I scrubbed it off just as there was a knock at the door.
Ella, are you in there? Better not be stealing my makeup again.
Just washing my face, Mom. I'll be right out. Oh, I could use my mom's makeup to hide the damage. I found an eyebrow pencil and quickly scrawled them on as best as I could. Then I brushed my bangs over my forehead and snuck quietly out of the bathroom.
There you are. Wait, did you just cut your hair?
Some people are just desperate for attention. So pathetic.
Just trying something different. Mom, I have to go run to the store and get some things for a school project, so bye. At the store, I was lucky enough to find the perfect solution: tattoo sticker eyebrows. I rushed home with them and went to my room to try them on. Just put them on, spray a little water, and voila. I set the timer on my phone and laid back with the washcloth over my forehead, awaiting my beautiful new eyebrows. But when I looked at the results, I almost fainted. They looked super crooked. I scrubbed and scrubbed, but they just wouldn't come off. I lay in my bed, sobbing uncontrollably.
Why are you making sounds like a dying whale? OMG! Ha ha ha! What happened to your face?
I just wanted to change my look for the cheer tryouts, but it's all gone so horribly wrong. What am I gonna do?
Well, maybe if you hadn't pretended to be me and ruined my pageant career.
Wait, that's it? You can pretend to be me. Oh, please, Arya, I need this. Justin himself asked me. You know I've always had the biggest crush on him.
Yeah, I've read your Dear Diary sob stories.
What?
Not important right now. And okay, since you're begging and you look so ugly, it's almost sad. I'll do it, but only if you do my homework for a whole year.
Are you kidding? Ugh, fine, I'll do it. Just get me the cheerleading spot, okay?
You got yourself a deal, Ugo.
Mom let me stay at home for a few days when she saw what I'd done, and Arya left for school the next morning. But I didn't really trust her not to mess things up for me at the tryouts. I needed a spy, so I called Eugene. Hey, I know this is a lot to ask, but I'm really unwell. And I asked my twin, Arya, to do the cheer tryouts for me. Could you just go and see how she does? I don't know who else I can trust.
Of course I'll do it. Want me to drop by later with some soup too? We could watch some Luna's videos, or I could show you my cat's pictures.
That sounds amazing! But what I have is really contagious. So you'll report to me soon, right?
You betcha!
You're the best, Eugene! Eugene's report tallied with what Arya told me. She'd performed a flawless audition, and I was in. I couldn't wait to go back and spend time with Justin. Thankfully, the tattoos wore off in a few days, and my eyebrows were coming back, so I could fill in the rest with pencil. I was ready to return to school. But that evening, Eugene told me that he'd seen Arya and Justin kissing, and when she got home that day, she was getting out of Justin's car. I ran down to the living room and opened the window to eavesdrop.
It's so hard to say goodbye to you, babe.
It's only till tomorrow. Coochie poochie poo!
And that'll feel like an eternity. My Arya! Baby boo!
Oh, and what the heck? The minute Arya walked in, I jumped in her way like an angry lioness. What in God's name did I just see?
Oh, you mean me and Justin, silly? Didn't you want to ask him out? I just did it for you as you...
No, don't lie to me, witch. I heard him say, Arya, boo, boo, boo. He knows you're Arya and not me, Ella. And then her face turned totally evil.
Yeah, okay. Whatevs. I took a picture of you in your sleep and showed him your freaky eyebrows and told him you'd sent me in your place. We had a really good laugh, and we just bonded. You took away my pageant life, I took away your guy. Trust me, he's way out of your league anyway.
I let out a snarl and attacked her. My parents came running when we crashed into a table and pulled us apart, and I swore I'd never speak to her for the rest of my life. But watching her and Justin together in school and thinking of how they must have made fun of me made my heart burn. And then I found something in the mail one day that gave me the perfect opportunity for revenge. I knew I was successful when Arya screamed at me in the school hallway one day.
Ella, what did you do?
What are you talking about? Something boring, probably.
Why do I have a rejection letter from the dance academy of my dreams which says that my audition was way below their standards? I never went to any audition.
Oh yeah, that. See, I received the invitation for the audition, and I decided to go as you. Now, I haven't danced in a really long time, so I was kinda rusty, but I thought I did an impressive chicken dance.
I will kill you!
Well, that was effectively the end of our relationship. Somehow, it didn't feel as good as I thought it would. No one at home was talking to me now, and even Eugene seemed distant. Am I imagining it, or are you avoiding me?
No, Ella, you're not. I just don't like what you did to your sister.
What? She started it!
No, you started it when you went to the pageant as her.
You don't really know everything about us, Eugene. It gets really tiring being overlooked and invisible.
Actually, I do know something about that. I literally joined the mathletes to get close to you. I dropped every possible hint that I like you. And you're not so dumb that you didn't pick up on it. But you just used me when you needed me. And now you need me again. 'Cause I'm guessing other people in your life aren't talking to you. Well, I have a little more self-respect than that. Goodbye, Ella.
The last few months of high school were really lonely. Arya got into an amazing dance school across the country, but she still didn't seem willing to forgive me. And even though we hadn't gotten along in a really long time, I felt sad that she'd be out of my life soon. But during the summer break, Arya suddenly fell really sick. After a number of tests, the doctor told us that both her kidneys were weak and she needed a healthy one soon. And of course, I was a perfect match.
No freaking way! I'm not taking your kidney!
Are you crazy? Listen, guys, can you give us a minute? When my parents and the doctor left, I turned to her. Look, you need this, okay? I know I did some awful things, and I'm really sorry. And for better or for worse, you're my other half, and I can't lose you. So just shut up and stop smirking, and you're taking my kidney.
Say you're my better half, Arya!
Don't push it!
Okay. I know I haven't been very nice to you either, and I'm sorry too. I didn't even like Justin that much, so thank God he cheated on me and we broke up.
Serves you right, which reminds me, I gotta call Eugene before the surgery and apologize to him too.
What kind of name is Eugene? That's Latin for ugly girl?
While Latin is a dead language, Arya, much like your love life, some things never change, do they? Hi, I'm Melody from New York. Please like and subscribe. I lived with my amazing single mom, who had a tough time raising me on her own. As I grew older, I was determined to work hard and give her a good life one day. I got into a great high school on full scholarship and helped her out by waitressing on weekends. One evening, I was dashing like crazy at the subway station. I was so late for my shift. Suddenly, I bumped straight into someone, but I just shouted an apology and ran off to my train. Just as I was about to get on, someone gently took my hand. I turned around to see the most gorgeous boy ever.
Hey, you dropped this!
He placed something in my hand and I gasped. It was my bracelet. Thank you so much. I would have been devastated if I had lost this. I'm so glad I found you. No, you found me. I mean the bracelet. His smile went all the way up to his warm brown eyes.
You're welcome. Do you think we could maybe?
Just then, the door started closing and I shouted, "Sorry, gotta go!" As the train pulled away, I felt like such an idiot. I didn't even ask for his name. For the next couple of months, I kept hoping I'd bump into him on the way to work, but no such luck. Summer break was over, and I was really looking forward to seeing my best friend, Stella, who'd been away on vacation. We hugged excitedly, and she put her arm through mine as we walked to class.
There's so much I have to tell you. But first, did you ever find the train guy again?
No, it sounds stupid, Stella, but we had an instant connection. He almost asked me out, and now he just disappeared.
Aw, Melody, we'll hunt the whole city down till we find him. Now come on, let me introduce you to my new boyfriend, Levi.
She walked up to a tall guy, and when he turned around, my heart almost stopped. It was the freaking train guy. He didn't seem to recognize me as Stella introduced us, telling me how their dads were friends and they'd met on vacation. His family had recently moved to our town, so he'd joined our school. Now, of all the guys in the world, Stella had to meet him. The first class we had that day was English literature, and to my dismay, the teacher chose me and Levi to read out something from Shakespeare. I picked out a scene from Romeo and Juliet, but Levi muttered loudly,
Geez, kill me now.
"What, you don't like it?"
No, it's a story about two people who were so dumb I was happy when they died. It's so lame.
Oh, is that your expert opinion as a world-famous writer?
No, it's my expert opinion as someone with good taste. It's not romantic, it's stupid.
Dying for love is stupid?
The dumbest!
You have the emotional depth of a teaspoon.
At least I have a brain. But fine, you want me to be stupid, Romeo, I'll do it.
No, I don't want to now! I pulled the book away from him as he held on to it tight, and suddenly we both fell down, ripping it in half. Everyone was staring at us, and the teacher told us to go back to our seats. Ugh, this guy was so annoying. It wasn't a great start, but because of Stella, we both made an effort to be nicer. And I wanted to hate him, but I really couldn't. He was smart, funny, sweet. He was kind of perfect for Stella? Of course. Some months later, we had a big calculus assignment to work on. But when I went to the library, only Levi was there. He told me Stella wasn't feeling well, and I sat down awkwardly. As we got busy working, I suddenly noticed Levi looking at my notebook.
You're doing it the wrong way.
My answer's the same as yours.
But why use such a long method when there's a shortcut?
Because shortcuts lead to mistakes. He pulled his chair closer and started scribbling away. I could hardly focus. Gosh, he smelled so good.
There, done.
Okay, you're a genius. I'm calling it a day. I gathered my stuff and started to leave, but he followed me.
Have I offended you? Why does it always seem like you're mad at me?
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
I'm not.
Just tell me, Melody. Why are you angry at me?
Suddenly, the words just came spilling out. Because you didn't remember me.
Wait, what?
Nothing. It's nothing. I'll see you around. And with that, I ran off. Why did I have to say such a dumb thing? A few weeks later, we had the spring dance at school, and I accepted when a boy from class, Eric, asked me to go with him. I was actually having a pretty good time. And when I stopped to rest, Stella and Levi joined me.
That Eric seems like great boyfriend material, Melody.
Yeah, I guess he's nice.
But you're still hoping to find the train guy, right?
Oh my god, Stella, please, shut up.
Train guy?
Oh yeah, babe. This guy found Melody's bracelet at the train station, and they had this, electric romantic moment. But Melody laughed and never saw him again. She even tried looking for him, but nothing.
I just wanted to magically disappear from the most humiliating moment of my life. Eric came just then and whisked me off to the dance floor. The next day, I was just really distracted at work. I broke 2 glasses, knocked over a jug of water, and then I bumped into a waiter, sending food flying everywhere. I was pretty sure I'd be fired, but that night got even worse when I suddenly noticed my bracelet was gone. I broke down into tears, and the staff helped me look all around the kitchen. The manager even let me stay back and search the restaurant once the customers were gone, but I didn't find it anywhere. Feeling crushed, I finally left and walked straight into someone outside.
Hey, what's wrong?
My bracelet, it's gone! It's the last birthday gift my dad gave me! Levi pulled me into a hug and I buried my face in his shoulder. A minute later, he spoke.
A Melody? You mean this bracelet?
I stepped back to see him taking off the bracelet stuck to my coat. Gosh, I feel so stupid. Thank you, once again. And suddenly last evening came rushing back to me. Listen, I did tell Stella I met some guy, and I thought maybe we had something, but I was wrong. I've only ever thought of you as a friend since we met in school, and I don't like you that way, okay?
Well, that's disappointing.
Wait, what?
I would have looked for you myself, but I left town the next day. And when I saw you in school, I did remember you. Melody, I didn't say anything because what was the point? I'm with Stella, and I've tried so hard not to like you that way either, but it's not working.
He pulled me closer, and my heart was pounding. He leaned in to kiss me, but I snapped back to my senses. No, I can't do this to Stella! Please don't follow me! And with that, I ran. How could I even come this close? I really wasn't looking forward to seeing Levi in school, but I found his seat empty. Stella told me his dad was unwell, and Levi had to go back to his hometown to take care of business. I thought he'd be back soon. But days turned into weeks and then months. The school year ended, and one day during summer break, Stella called me to tell me she and Levi had broken up.
Why? The long-distance relationship made us realize we weren't that good together. I'm sure we can still be good friends, but that's all we'll be now.
I hardly knew what to say. I wanted to call him and ask him how he was doing, but I decided against it. A few weeks later at the restaurant, I walked over to a table to take someone's order, and I nearly fell back when I saw Levi sitting there. Levi, you're back. It's been so long.
Well, I'm here now. I guess you heard about me and Stella.
Yeah, sorry it didn't work out.
It was the right thing for both of us. Melody, do you think that maybe...
Just then, Eric walked in and kissed me on the cheek.
Babe, is your shift almost over? Oh, hey man, you're back.
Levi tried to hide his shock as he realized I was dating Eric now. He'd asked me out a week after the dance. Suddenly, he got up to leave.
I just remembered something important. I'll see you guys in school.
Gosh, we really had the worst timing. Some weeks later, on my 16th birthday, Eric turned up in a limo to take me to dinner. But when we got to this fancy restaurant, I was shocked to see my entire class there. It looked like he booked the whole place. But to top that, Eric jumped onto a chair, suddenly holding a mic.
Happy birthday to the most amazing girl. To show you how much you mean to me, I'm gonna embarrass myself now with this song I wrote for you.
He started singing and I couldn't stop laughing. He was ridiculous. Just then, the mic suddenly died, and everyone heard Levi saying,
"What a loser."
There was a pin-drop silence as everyone turned to him, and Eric was furious.
Dude, is there a problem?
Yeah, just one thing. I don't understand what Melody sees in you.
God, he was so rude. Before I could tell him off, Eric leapt forward and grabbed him by his collar. Levi pushed him back, and he ended up falling in the cake. He attacked Levi again, and they both went crashing into another table. Oh my God, stop it! Levi, what's wrong with you? I pulled him outside.
Your boyfriend attacked me first.
You deserved it. What's your problem with Eric?
He's so annoying and lame, but I guess you like that he's your Romeo.
I like him because he's sweet and caring.
And really rich.
I suddenly slapped him hard. Did you just call me a gold digger? Gosh, you're being such a jerk!
Wait, no, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that, and I don't hate Eric. I just hate that I missed my chance with you again. I wished every day I followed you on that train and things could be different.
Oh, so what was I in the middle of all this? A mistake?
We turned around in horror to see Stella behind us.
So you did find your train guy, Melody, and all this time we were together, you two were in love. Were you secretly making out?
No, Stella, of course not.
Why should I believe you? You lied to my face for so long.
I tried to stop her from leaving, but she pushed me to the ground.
I'm done with both of you.
She stormed off furiously, and I just went back inside. This was a nightmare. The next few weeks were awful. Stella refused to talk to me. I refused to talk to Levi, and everything was a mess. Then Stella didn't come to school for a couple of days, and I began to feel worried. I finally asked the teacher, and she told me Stella and her sister had been in an accident. Oh my God! I went straight to the hospital and found Stella in the waiting area. I rushed forward and hugged her tight, and she hugged me back.
I'm okay, but my sister's in surgery. I'm just so glad you're here, Melody.
I held her hand through it, and we were so relieved when the doctors told us she was going to be okay. We took a walk outside, and Stella turned to me.
Melody, how could you be so stupid? Why didn't you tell me Levi was the guy?
You would have hated me even if I had, Stella. And it doesn't matter now. I'm with Eric.
Just listen to yourself, dummy. You're with Eric, but you're not in love with Eric.
I just ignored her. I wasn't hurting Eric now. I'd messed up things enough. A few weeks later, Eric was having a Christmas party at his place. When I came down all dressed up, Mom said a package had arrived for me. I opened it and gasped. There was a beautiful pair of earrings inside that perfectly matched my bracelet. A note fell out.
This was supposed to be your birthday present. I'm really sorry for everything, Melody. I'm leaving tonight. and I'll be transferring back to my old school. I hope you and Stella patch things up.
Levi. What? I couldn't believe he was leaving for good. I went to the party with a heavy heart, and there I had another surprise waiting. Eric immediately pulled me into a room and popped out a freaking diamond ring. What are you doing?
Melody, let's just get engaged. My family would be so pleased if we announced it tonight. We won't get married right away, of course, but...
Eric, please stop! I can't! He looked at me in shock.
Because of Levi, isn't it?
Well, yes and no. I don't want to be engaged. I don't want my life planned out for me. You're a great guy, but I'm not ready for this. I'm sorry. He quietly kissed me on the cheek and just left, and I immediately called an Uber to the train station. I looked around frantically for Levi, and just then, I saw him climbing onto the train. As I hopped on after him and took his hand, he turned around in shock.
Melody, what are you doing here?
Taking a train ride with you. Also, I broke up with Eric. We're both single now. So what do you want to do about it? He smiled like the first time I saw him.
Do you think we could maybe get dinner sometime?
Finally, yes! And he pulled me in for a kiss.
I wanna get too close, gonna get it right now. I wanna push all the limits with you right now.
Hi, I'm Adele, and I live with my parents in France. Please like and subscribe. My dad named me Adele, which means beautiful like a star. He never loved anyone in the world as much as he loved me. And I guess this is why my own mom never liked me very much. Once in 2nd grade, my geography teacher, Ms. Diana, started screaming at a poor girl, and I just hated that she was such a bully. When she was done, she turned to us and said,
"Okay, class, so now I think I should
jump off a bridge." And the whole class laughed.
Adele, what is this behavior? I'll send you to the principal.
And I'll send you to Antarctica. My dad is a travel agent.
How dare you threaten me? You should never threaten people like that.
Sorry, Diana. I thought it was funny.
Should never call your teachers by their first name. This isn't funny.
And the complaint letter was sent to my parents. Mom was furious. But Dad couldn't stop laughing at the statements I'd made in class.
Adele, I know you were defending a girl, but we should always respect our teachers. Darling.
You shout at me if I spill coffee by mistake, but anything Adele does is fine by you. You'd forgive her if she ever killed someone.
Oh God, honey, do you always have to be so melodramatic? How can you compare yourself to a kid and she's really funny?
Mom just stormed off angrily. And since that day, I started noticing she'd always talk to me rudely. A few weeks later, it was Dad's birthday, and I went down that evening in a beautiful new dress. The minute Dad got home, I ran towards him. Dad, my new dress! Am I pretty? And then, Mom pushed me aside and showed Dad the watch she'd bought for him. But Dad ignored her completely and picked me up instead.
My princess, no one can look more beautiful than you. Look what I've brought for you.
Chocolate! Barbies! Wow, Mom! See the gifts Dad got for me! But Mom angrily turned away and left. Why was she always like this? I forgot all about her as soon as Dad and I started to play. And we played a lot! The next morning at breakfast, Mom came downstairs rocking a dress that was so slay. And she walked in front of Dad.
How do I look, darling? Come, let's dance in this romantic weather.
Dad spat out his coffee and burst out laughing.
That was a really good joke, but could you go do something more usual now? It's freezing and you'll get sick and cause trouble for everyone.
He just went back to reading his newspaper. And I saw Mom's face turn red. I felt a bit sorry for her, but why was she acting so silly? She was obviously furious at Dad, but she took it out on me by not giving me dessert that day. And this time, I was angry at her. Give me dessert now!
Nope, don't feel like it. Go ask your dad.
I went to the kitchen and climbed onto a stool to reach the cookie jar on the top of the fridge. But I accidentally knocked it down and broke it with a loud crash. Mom came rushing in and started shouting at me.
You're such a brat. Look at this mess you made. You're going to clean it up.
But I just ran out of there and headed straight to the phone. Hello, Dad? Mom is saying that she hates me and I look like an ugly panda. Dad called Mom back and yelled at her, and I did a happy dance. Years passed, and I grew up to be a beautiful girl. Every time Dad or anyone praised my beauty, Mom looked jealous. By now, it was clear she completely resented me. By the time I reached 11th grade, I discovered my love for acting, and and I'd taken part in all of the school plays. But there was a mean girl in my class who was always competing with me for the lead roles. Ashley, I'd usually beat her to them, and she wasn't very fond of me. One day in the cafeteria, I saw Ashley bullying this shy kid named Olivier. She walked up to him with her boyfriend and took off his thick glasses, snapping them in half.
Oh, look at him crying like a kid. Mommy, mommy, save me from Ashley.
Olivier's eyesight was so weak that he couldn't see anything. As he tried to get away, Ashley stuck out her leg and he tripped. He would have landed on his face, but I caught him just in time. Then I picked up a chair and shouted at Ashley, "You touch him again, and I'll hit your head so hard, your tiny little brain will come out."
How dare you threaten me, witch?
And suddenly, she jumped on me, and we broke out into a huge fight. Some teachers came running and pulled us apart, and their moms were called to the school immediately.
These girls were fighting like wild dogs. It's unacceptable behavior.
My daughter could never do this. She's the greatest child in the world.
Oh, yes. I'm sure it was Adele's fault. She's the worst child in the world. You poor baby. How badly hurt is she? Adele should definitely be punished.
This is the last warning to you girls.
Don't be weak. Why are you letting Adele off with a warning? You should suspend her. You can even throw her out of school.
Mom, the principal actually suspended me for 3 days, and I was furious. When we got home, Dad was already there, and she started complaining to him immediately.
See what your amazing daughter has done? She's suspended from school because she beat a girl so badly for no reason. She nearly sent her into a coma.
Shut up! Don't talk rubbish! Adele isn't crazy enough to hurt someone like that.
Yes, Dad. Mom is lying. And she told the principal to suspend me. Ashley jumped on me and I just pulled her hair. How could she go into a coma from that? Hearing this, Dad was furious at Mom, and they broke into the worst fight of their lives. Mom smashed half the plates in her house. She was crazy. A few days later, something was published in the news that left everyone really surprised in school. It was a picture of Olivier with his dad, who happened to be a world-famous movie director. Everyone knew Olivier's dad, but until now, no one had known Olivier was his son because he'd never mentioned it. And suddenly, everyone's attitude towards Olivier changed completely. He was surrounded by girls all the time. I also liked him, but I just see him from a distance. Even Ashley the witch apologized to him one day. He forgave her, and after that, the two would be hanging out together so often. A week later, it was Valentine's Day, and I came to know that Ashley had dumped her boyfriend. She walked over to Olivier in the cafeteria and said,
"This rose is for the most handsome boy in the world. Will you be my Valentine?"
No boy ever refused Ashley because she was so pretty. But to my shock, Olivier just took the rose from her and walked over to me.
I've been waiting to do this since the first time we've met. And what day is better than Valentine's? You're the prettiest, loveliest girl ever. Will you go out with me, Adele?
Yes, of course. Yes. Then he lifted me into his arms and twirled me around as everyone cheered for us. Ashley was so embarrassed and angry, she ran away from there crying. I started enjoying my relationship with Olivier. He'd pick me up from my place, and then we'd go to parks and malls. I could see Mom's jealous face whenever I'd come back with gifts. One day, she said,
"Is this what you go to school for? Focus on your studies."
"Don't I already get the highest grades?"
That boy, Olivier, isn't good for you.
How can you say that? You don't even know him.
His dad and I were in the same college, and he is a horrible, dishonest man.
Wow, you'll just make up anything, won't you? You know what I think, you're just jealous because you never got what I have. I started ignoring Mom completely after that. She couldn't stand to see me happy. And that was her problem, not mine. I graduated from high school, and Olivier and I decided to get engaged before we both headed off for college. We had a small engagement dinner with his parents and mine, but just as he was about to put the ring on my finger, Mom suddenly jumped up from her seat.
No, I can't stay quiet and just watch Adele. I have proof that this boy is no good. Look at this picture of him kissing this girl. Won't you believe me now? I warned you about him and his whole family.
Mom, just stop. That girl is Olivier's cousin, and I know her. You've proved nothing except that you're a crazy psycho who's been stalking my boyfriend. Everyone was staring at us, and the whole evening was ruined. When we got home, I turned to Dad. She ruined one of the happiest days of my life, Dad. Thank God. I'm leaving for university tomorrow.
Not just you, darling. I'm leaving too. I've stayed with this madwoman just for you. But now you're all grown up and ready to go, and so am I. I need some peace in my life.
And with that, we both left home the next day, hoping to never see Mom again. A few months later, Dad told me he was getting married again, and I was really happy for him. After Olivier and I graduated from university, we decided to get married. I didn't want Mom to ruin my big day, so I didn't invite her. But to my shock, Dad didn't come either. He just sent me a huge wedding present with a note.
Sorry I couldn't make it, honey, but I can't leave my wife and newborn son alone right now. Love you, and hope you have an amazing day.
That was a big blow to my heart. He'd never ignored me before, and I was so angry at him. I called him, but he didn't even pick up. Olivier's dad soon signed me on for a movie, and the very first one was a success. I shot to fame fast, and was soon traveling all over the world for shootings and premieres. I was away often, and over time, I felt Olivier was growing really distant from me. Like once I was in town on my birthday, and all he did was laze around on the couch as usual and watch football all day. Olivier, today's day is over. It was my birthday? And you didn't even wish me a happy birthday.
Oh, I forgot. Happy birthday, dear.
And then he just turned his face to the TV again. This kind of stuff happened all the time, and I felt invisible. And sometimes it made me think of how Dad must have made Mom feel, and how I'd never realized it before. To distract myself, I worked even harder. And within a year, I was nominated for a big award. But Olivier didn't even show up to the award ceremony. And when I got home, I found him having a huge party at our place.
Oh, I thought you were out of town. Babe, come meet my friends.
Out of town? I was at the award ceremony, and you weren't there.
That was today? And why did I need to be there, Adele? Did you need me to carry around that tiny award for you?
Do you even care about me? Or am I just a money-earning machine for you? You don't even have a job, and all you do is spend my hard-earned money.
Your hard-earned money? Anything you are today is because of my dad and my connections. And look at you now, acting all high and mighty with your award and your expensive dress, which, by the way, looks awful on you.
Everyone in the room looked at us. I was embarrassed like never before. Suddenly, the scene of Dad laughing at Mom and insulting her flashed before my eyes. And it was the worst feeling in the world. Really? You made me. Then why couldn't you make something of yourself, you useless potato? Saying that, I just pushed him aside and stormed off to my room. I could hardly sleep that night. I was so angry at Olivier and at Dad. The next morning, I woke up to a message on my phone. It was from my bank saying that all the money from my account had been withdrawn. What the heck? Olivier, you took all my money? Why did you even need such a big amount?
I had some debts to pay off. Partying can be expensive, man. You'd know if you ever had fun.
What? You're the biggest jerk ever. I wish I'd let Ashley have you. You deserved her.
Yeah, she was prettier, but whatever. Get lost now.
I grabbed him by the collar and punched him hard. Just then, the cops arrived at our door because I'd already called them and reported him for theft. He left shouting and screaming, and it was the best I'd felt in years. And then I left to see my mom. When I arrived at my old house, Mom was completely stunned to see me.
Oh my God, Adele, it's been so long. You're even more beautiful than I remember.
And suddenly I just burst into tears and ran to hug her tight. She asked me what was wrong, and I told her everything. I'm so sorry, Mom, for never realizing how Dad made you feel, for not listening to you about Olivier. You warned me, but I grew up never trusting you to be happy for me.
It's not really your fault, Adele. All those years, I was angry at your dad, and I took it out on you by never showing you affection. It's taken me years to get over my resentment and realize I should never have ruined my relationship with you, or for someone who never loved me at all.
I'm here now, Mom. Do you think we can start over?
I've been waiting to hear those words for so long, my darling.